Hello everybody, it's Trevor Selescu, owner of Monster Hobbies in High River, Alberta, sitting back down here at our workbench to show you the second video in our Baleful Realmgates build. And today what we're going to be doing is painting the Baleful Realmgates so that they will be ready to play on May 25th at our Warhammer Age of Sigmar tournament, 10 a.m. in Actually the Realm of Fire. And remember that this tournament is 1,000 points. So bring your armies. We'll be having 3 rounds, and the entry fee is $10 per person. But the pricing is really nice. It's $100 worth of Games Workshop product divided into 3 chunks. First place will be $50 worth of pricing. Second place will be $30, and the third place will be $20, which is always good for paints and glue and that sort of thing. So you don't want to miss this great tournament coming up May 25th on Saturday at 10 a.m. right down at Monster Hobbies in High River, Alberta, Canada. Now, without further ado, let's paint our model. Alright, so what I did here is, after it got all glued together, I simply spray painted this thing with some good old enamel trim-clad flat black spray primer. And so I let it dry for about a week. I know you guys are just watching this video the next day, but it's actually a week has passed. So here we go with our Realmgate. As you can see, it's pretty cool. I got it clamped up on here. It actually popped out and broke a big chunk of the paint off that clamp. But anyway, so yeah, there you can see just how cool that is, being all in black primer. And here's the base over here, all primered up and ready to go. And of course our parts will still fit together here, just like that. So now we want to paint this thing for our tournament coming up here. And of course we need to figure out what colors to do it. So for inspiration for our paintings of these Realmgates in Akshwai, we are actually going to open up the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, the Realmgate Wars Godbeast book. And I'm going to turn to these cool ones here, right there. And this is on page 92. And it says the Orb Inferna Realmgate. Infernia. The Orb Infernia Realmgate. Once the wealthy and welcoming Orb Infernia was a jewel of Akshai. Then came the Chaos Gods with their demonic legions, and paradise was destroyed forever. Yet rising eerily above the scorched terrain and dried seabeds are found spectacular echoes of a former glory. And there they are. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so it tells you everything you need to know about how to paint these. And there it is there. Quick, memorize it. Alright, anyway. So with that in mind, okay, and then here they are on the battlefield. So with that in mind, I'm going to move the book out of the way, and we're going to begin. So I'm going to get my painting tools together. Now I've got this old plate that I use for mixing paints and whatnot. And I'm going to use these non-regulation, really horrible, I wouldn't recommend them for anything, paintbrushes that I have here. Except the bristles are nice and stiff. So these should be good for dry brushing. And the first color they say to use is corn red. So luckily I have a bottle over here. And there's our base and our top. Needs some flat black under here, but maybe it won't matter so much. Don't let anyone turn it over. Alright, so I'm going to start with the base here. Oops, right there. And let's begin by taping it down to a piece of cardboard. So now I've got the base stuck down to this piece of cardboard, this box, with some good old two-sided carpet tape. Now I'm going to pop the lid on my corn red and hope this is still good. It's Alberta. It gets dry out here. Okay, look at this. This big, scary old brush can actually fit in the top there. So I'll just close that for now. So what I'm going to do is take this plate and just try to get some of the paint out of there. Okay, now it should be okay for dry brushing. So we'll start from the top, just like the rain, and we're going to scrub this brush down like this. See, now we're getting some of the corn red on there. And look at how amazing this is starting to look. Get back under here too. Now the dry brushing technique, you do want as much of the paint out of the brush so that you're not actually painting this as a solid color. So anyway, there is coat number 1. Alright, so the next color we're going to use is Evil Sun Scarlet, which is a lighter red, and it's going to brighten up a lot of this stuff. So now, normally I would clean the brush, but I don't feel like doing that. So hopefully I'm not cross-contaminating the paint in here. Alright, so using that same technique, we're just going to try to get as much as we can out of this brush. But this time around, we're not trying to paint the entire thing. We're trying to highlight a lot of this. So we still want to have some of the corn red down below, but now we're kind of brightening it up, like as if the sun were hitting this and enlightening it a bit. So come down these stairs. I do like the black in here. It almost gives it like a burnt look, you know? Like there would be some soot or something that fell down below. So I'm not going to drag it into here, but I am going to drag it out here so that we have sort of a natural shadow back under there. Okay, so that is about it for that. As you can see, it gets simpler as we go along. So there's our base now. I'll just bring this up to the camera. So there, you can see how it brightened it up. And as the hot water tank and the furnace kick on, we are going to come down and paint our next color, which is Screaming Skull. Now, according to the article in the book, I'm going to use a smaller brush this time around. According to that article in the book, it is saying to concentrate on the bones and the carvings using the Screaming Skull. So that's exactly what we will do here. Carefully going over these skulls. And let the magic of dry brushing commence. I got a little difficulty getting down into that one. Alright, and then here's a griffin over here. So I'll just give him a little touch of the old Screaming Skull. There, see how nicely this comes up? Alright. Oh, here's some skulls here. And I'm just going to bring a little bit down on these stairs here just to highlight the top edges of the stones. There we go. So now, carpet tape is strong stuff. There's our finished base. So the next step is to go through the gate and finish off that. Alright, so the next step after I finish the base is to paint the flames inside here. And now I've done the top portion of our realm gate the same exact way that I did the base, using the Screaming Skull dry brush and of course the reds. So of course our flames here look not really hot at all in that paint scheme. So our next color here is Troll Slayer Orange, and we're going to apply this. I'm using a soft brush on this one. So I'm going to take it here and apply it into the flames carefully. Being careful about the tops here. You know, where it goes into there. Try not to make too much of a mess of it. Okay, and I'm going to paint these flames using this Troll Slayer Orange. Okay, so it does say to paint this all solid orange with the Troll Slayer Orange in the book. But as you can see, I sort of pseudo dry brushed it in here just to get a bit of the depth in between the flames. So now we are going in here with our Fire Dragon Bright, and we're going to start to dry brush out to the highlights. Now it's still a little wet in those flame areas. So the reason why they want you to do this completely when this dries is so that you're not dipping your dry brush into the little pools of wet paint and then dragging the darker color out into your lighter dry brushing here. So as you can see, I can get this done pretty fast with the dry brushing. I'm going to back away from this very edge here just so that the flames have a little light and dark contrast as best I can here. So there, is it starting to look brighter? So the next color we're going to use is Uriel Yellow. And when we paint this on here, we're not going to go right up into the edge. We're going to just bring it back quite a bit and paint in here so that it looks like the flames are going cold and then hot into the center. And that's the way we want to do this. Alright, so here we go with our dry brush. I'm going to come down here like this and just go around. So the batteries are getting low on my camera, so to preserve some power, I'm only going to go up to there, then I'm going to paint the rest on both sides, but already you can see the difference this is making. Here's our Baleful Realmgate after the Uriel Yellow has been applied. The final color it says to put in here is Dorn Yellow, but I don't have any. So I'm going to instead substitute that out with Flash Gitz Yellow. I believe the Dorn Yellow has more white in it, so I could mix this with a little bit of the white paint. Alright, so here we go with our Flash Gitz Yellow. And this time around we just want to hit the hottest points, which would be these center flame bits. Just like this. Now I tricked the camera into giving me a little more battery time here by switching out 2 of the not charged batteries with 2 fully charged batteries. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, anyway, just adding a little bit around there to make it look a little brighter. And we'll put some down here too, sort of more central. So now that the 2 pieces are fully finished and painted, we want to remove any paint off of the contact surfaces like down here, and inside here, so that when we glue them together, we're going to get the proper plastic to plastic contact and not plastic to paint contact. And then, of course, once we scrape out in here, around there, and our contact points, we're going to use our Citadel glue, and we're going to put some glue in here, and you can put a bit around in here, or maybe on the edges here, and then plug it in. Okay, so here are the parts after I scraped off the paint in the areas where the glue's going to hit. I decided to go around a little bit on that square, just so that it could have more contact area with this when it glues, so that not only is the glue holding down on the sides and the bottom of this, if that even touches the bottom of this, we don't know, it will also touch on these sides around that square plate. And then, if you can see, I've also scraped the paint off inside that ring, or that hole, sorry, using the number 11 hobby knife. And I used my, number 16 in here to get that cleaned up. And because this is out in the open, I was able to use my number 16 to scrape that one clean. And now, because I've cleaned this up, it actually fits in here a lot easier. Just now drops right in. There, perfectly. So there we go. So I'm just going to put the glue in there and let it dry up. Alright, Warhammer players, here's what the finished Baleful Realmgate looks like. And over here I also have the Ophidian Archway, and of course the other Realmgate at the very back. And just for a little size comparison, I have right here our standard bearer for our dwarf miners, an older model, but as you can see, he is kind of small compared to the height of these realm gates. And if we put him on the top step, right there, just gives a little size perspective again. So we look forward to seeing you coming up on May 25th at 10 a.m. for our Age of Sigmar tournament, where we will be in Akshui, the Realm of Fire. And it's kind of too bad that when we actually play, it won't really look like this cool setup I got going on here, because of course I can't make our store inside look like red fire skies. But, you know, we can do our best to use our imagination to figure this out. So I still need to make more of these, but I'm going to be making them using styrofoam and something else. So new Baleful Realmgates. Tune in for the next video where I'm going to show you how to make your own out of styrofoam. Well, I sure hope you enjoyed that Baleful Realmgate build and paint. And hopefully your Realmgate will come up looking as good as this one. And you know what's great? And what's even better than having one Baleful Realmgate? It's actually having two, and now I have built that model completely with both Baleful Realmgates. So now a character can go into this Realmgate and come out of this Realmgate. Maybe through there, I don't know. But now we got that teleporting ability, although we can't actually use it in this tournament. Instead, if you bring a priest down to the tournament in your army, you are able to cast flames out of these Baleful Realmgates and hit your enemies. So that's really, really cool. However, I have a problem. I only have one Baleful Realmgate model kit, which allows you to build two, of course. And in our tournaments, we use 4 4x8 tables. Now, we use 4 foot by 4 foot playing field. So with some string, I'm able to separate the 4x8s into 8 4x4 squares. Each square needs 2 realm gates. So I need to build 16 realm gates. And that's a problem because I only have these kits and the weekend's coming up. So in our next video, I'm going to show you how using some 1/2-inch styrofoam and a couple of styrofoam junk pieces from my collection, we can build the other missing Baleful Realmgates. So hopefully you will be able to tune in to the next video. And until then, happy wargaming!